Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 12th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's going to open in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we will get started shortly with our analysis for today. Got a couple things here to update, and we should be good to go. Sorry for the late start. I had an issue with this stream, but looks like it's good to go now. Just got a couple things here to update. All right, looks good. Perfect. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Perfect. All right, I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. All right, perfect. All right, guys, morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, April 12th. It is 6:27 right now. Market's gonna open in about 3 minutes. Sorry for the late start, guys. I had a bit of an issue getting the stream going, but it looks like we are good to go. So market is going to open shortly in a few minutes. I'm just going to post this one last place, and we should be ready to go with our analysis for today. As you guys can see, the market moved kind of crazy this morning, exactly what we expected because of the inflation news, CPI monthly, CPI yearly, and the Fed news. So we will wait for the market to stabilize a bit before we, actually take anything specific. But I mean, we should be good to go. So we'll get a few moments for people to make their way in, and then we will get started shortly. All right, looks good. All right, so let's see who's here so far. Morning, Jonathan. Morning, CJ. Morning, Karen. Morning, Jacob. Morning, Deep. Morning, everybody. Looks like majority of you guys are here so far, so let's get a few more moments for this to
At every lunch for the past 2 months, I've been eating Fuel's Hot and Savory, and I have to say, I'm really impressed.
All right, it's gonna mute that real quick. It's a live session. Hey, Glenn. Morning. Morning, AR. Morning, T. Morning, everybody. Morning, Martha. Morning, Brian. Morning, Jamie. All right, guys. Let me take a look at the news real quick from this morning. So we had news at 5:30, I believe. There's news at 5:30, and there's more news at 7:30. I think it's about it. So let me go to markup news right here. Obviously, you can see this big candle, the 5:30 candle. That was the news candle from this morning. So I'm gonna have that marked up right there. Color that pink. Looks good. And market's gonna open in about 5 seconds. Sorry. Market is open in 3, 2, 1. Market is now open. There goes the opening bell. I don't think there's any other news for this morning. I mean, there's other news that's going on in the background. There's IMF meetings, G20 meetings, FOMC at 11, but there's nothing right now specifically. So I just refreshing my FX book real quick. News over here at 5:30. There's also news at 4 o'clock too. So let me mark that up as well. But again, as I mentioned, guys, market kind of moved very violently due to the CPI news. So we're going to let the market kind of smoothen out a bit before we we look for anything specific. So we had news over here at 4, news at 5:30, news at 7:30, and news at 8:30. So that's about it. News at 8 or 7:30, and then 8 o'clock. Or not 8 o'clock, 8:30. So let's see as price starts to stabilize and come back to where it's supposed to go. I'll mark up news price right here at 7:30. Then we got more news over here at 8 o'clock or 8:30 actually, which is not going to be relevant to us because we're probably not going to trade that late into the session. But all right, so we currently have a higher high right here. So, but price already broken close below, so there's not going to be any room for entry. Here's a clean chart. I'm going to mark up 6:30 right here. Color that blue. Go over here to 8 o'clock. Mark up opening price right here. All right, solid. So here's a clean chart. Let's go back to our normal chart over here. As you guys can see, there's no entry for us to take right now. We currently have a higher high, but price already broke and closed below the pivot, so there's no room for entry. If we get a sell signal anywhere over here, there's not going to be any entry for us because we already have price broken close past the pivots right there. I'm going to go and put the criteria over here for the strategy. High level momentum scalp. We just need a sell signal. So we need a sell signal basically to clear out the possible sell here. And then we can start looking for a buy. Otherwise, if price pushes back up, so say for example, price is down here and it pushes up a little higher and establishes a new higher high up here, then we can possibly look for that price to come back down and provide us a sell. But right now we don't have any opportunity for either a sell or a buy because we have a pending sell signal and then we don't have a lower low down here. All right, so we got nothing right now. Just gotta sit tight and wait. Let's take a look at all the other charts to see what everything's looking like right now. So I think this is my paper trading chart. I gotta log off from this one. Let me refresh this. All right, so looking at the chart over here, let me just take this off. I was testing something on this paper chart. Okay, so we got a clean chart here. All right, so looking at all the time frames over here, everything's pretty much bullish, right? You can see over here on the 4 hour, 1 hour, 30-minute, 10-minute, 5-minute, and 1-minute time frames, everything's bullish. 1 second, guys. All right, so looking over here, everything looks bullish because price is above the pivots, trend meter is green, pivots are angling up. We have a strong bullish bias here with regard to the trend. So we're probably going to be looking for some buys today for the most part. Looking over here at the fundamentals, let's take a look at that. Fundamentals are currently up 176 points. S&P is up 24 points. NASDAQ's up 100 points. Russell 2K is up 15 points. The VIX is currently down 2.8%. So with that said, we basically have a pretty bullish bias at the moment. Looking over here at the retail sentiment is currently 64% short, indicating that 64% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So we typically want to do the opposite and buy. This goes hand in hand with our other analysis for bias because everything's pretty much bullish. So as you can see, a lot of retail traders are currently hurting right now because price is likely to go to the upside. So that doesn't necessarily dictate where we're going to be trading, but I'd feel more comfortable looking for buys here because it looks like price is likely to shoot to the upside long term. Doesn't mean that it needs to. So if we get a sell signal right here, we can still take it for a quick sell. But I'm just saying that the overall bias here is still pretty strong for a buy. So we can take a sell here. We currently have a higher high. If this sell signal breaks and closes below the pivots 1 and 2 over here, then there's going to be an opportunity for a sell. But if it doesn't, then that's completely fine. So we don't have that sell signal here closing. We currently have a pending sell signal on this candle. We have about 30 seconds left. If this here, obviously pushes to the downside and closes, then there's going to be possible entry. The only downside here that I don't really feel comfortable with is that we are stuck in the middle of a range right here. So, but if it closes, I'll see if I'll take it. It's got to close pretty clear though. It's got to be pretty smooth, and it's got to close with it's got to be pretty obvious that it's going to close. We can't wait for the last second, and it obviously pushes to the upside like that right there. So the candle there did not close. And it looks like price is kind of just consolidating a bit right here. As you can see, the small candles, not very much body here, and price just keeps going sideways from where it's currently at. So, and there's also test here on both candles, basically a double top, which is a V1 variation. There's a double wick rejection right here on these two candles. So this is a good sign because it's a reversal pattern, but we don't have that sell signal. So we're looking for that sell signal here to close. And there's no pending sell signal on this current candle. Yeah, Jacob said, is it 25.50 in play today, maybe? Possibly, because the volatility is kind of high, Jacob. As you can see, obviously, volatility here is pretty high. No entry there. So let me go and take this off. Price is pushing up higher. So we'll see if the volatility stays high. If the volatility dies down, then, we'll go back to 1030. But it looks like it's starting to die down, Jacob. So you can see over here, the volume was very high on open. We had a huge red bar right here, and it's starting to get smaller and smaller and smaller. So if it continues to get smaller, then, we'll see. But if it stays high, then, obviously we can use a 25.50. Or we can even use a 1-to-1, like a 300. But we'll see. We'll see how it ends up moving. Because, these types of markets, whenever you get a market like this, where you get a huge news event pre-market, it either continues to move very violently like it does right here on open, or it just starts to slow down and it just pretty much dies out. So we'll give it some time. But yeah, no, it's a good idea, Jacob. Good. Thanks for bringing that up, because we haven't had a volatile market in a while. It's been pretty slow. I'm gonna step away for 1 second, guys, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. So we still have a higher high right here. And if it ends up coming down from this point, then we can look for possible entry or a sell. But again, we have to wait for this to really confirm. All right, so price is dropping down right here. We'll see if this candle breaks and closes past the pivots with the sell signal. We currently don't have a sell signal right now, but it can come up at any moment. So we're just pretty much waiting for this here to confirm, but does not look like we have it just yet. All right, this candle here is kind of big, guys, so I'm gonna have to wait for it to pull back a little bit before making entry. I'll let you guys know when I enter. It just depends on how this candle here closes. If it closes too big, obviously. All right, we have 10 seconds left on this candle. Again, you guys got to wait for the candle to actually close, guys, because it can disappear at the very last second. We have about 3 seconds left on this candle here and no closure. So that's what I was waiting for right there. It didn't end up closing. No entry for us. Hey, sir, how's it going? Morning. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you back here on the live. All right, guys, so there's no entry for us here. Man, this market kind of sucks today because there's no stability in the market. As you guys can see, we had a possible entry down here, disappeared, pushed up, came back down right here, possible entry, And as you guys can see, this candle here was kind of big. So this candle here retraced that pretty hard. This is why whenever you guys see a big candle, like a big candle, meaning a candle that's bigger than pretty much every previous candle, like this one here is bigger than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 or 10 candles right here. If the candle's too big, it's going to probably retrace. So whenever you see something big like that, you probably want to wait for that retracement and then maybe make a late entry if it does close. It didn't close here, so there was no entry to begin with, but if there was an entry there, probably would have been something to wait for retracement. So I'll try to show you guys more of those examples when we have them come up. But for the most part, that's kind of what we look for when I don't enter right away. Because a lot of people have that question asking, when is the time to enter with a buy stop or a sell stop? Typically when the candle's too big compared to the previous candles. Hey, Gak, good morning. All right, guys, so there's no entries for us here. This is not going to be an entry because the pivots already got broken down here. So even though, sorry guys, 1 second. So even though we have the higher high right here, this will not be an entry because we have a high low in between. Plus this candle already broke and closed past the pivot. So it needs to be a straight shot. If we're looking for entry here, it has to be a higher high. Then it needs to be a breaking close past the pivots and then also sell signal there. Since we don't have that, there's not going to be any entry here for us to take. All right, so again, we are waiting. So we need that sell signal there to close though. So I actually want the sell signal to close because if the sell signal doesn't close, we're not going to have any opportunity for a buy. I personally would prefer to have a buy versus a sell because the bias over here is pretty strong for a buy. As you guys can see from all the time frames, everything here is very bullish. 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, 10 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, everything's bullish. So obviously I want to look for a buy here. Also looking over here at the fundamentals, are currently up over 100 points. So whenever it's up over 100 points, that makes it bullish. If it's down 100 points, that's bearish. If it's anywhere in between, that's neutral. Right here, it's 179 points in the green. So we obviously want to look for some buys here. And then lastly, the icing on the cake is going to be the retail sentiment over here. It shows that retail is currently trading for, on the short side, 64%. So we obviously want to do the opposite and buy. So for me personally, I'm not going to not take sells, but I would personally prefer to take buys. So I actually want the sell signal here to close. This is kind of what I want to happen. I want a sell signal here to close. Doesn't matter how far it pushes. And I need it to get a little lower below here so that it will establish a lower low. Because we have a high low right here. If anything closes below here, it's going to establish a lower low. So that's what we need. We have a lower low here, and then price swings back up, provides us a buy signal, and we'll take that correction to the upside for a buy, right? That's what I'm looking for. So just got to give it some time. The main thing here is this momentum signal to close. It's been trying to close for the past like 5 or 6 candles now, and it hasn't been able to close. So once this here closes, we can now wait for the correction to the upside. We got 9 seconds here. This is not going to be an entry, guys. So just FYI, no entry here. We are just waiting for this here to close. We got that sell signal right there. There's no entry here because price broke and closed prior. Now I just need a lower low here to get established. Yeah, Jacob said I might just look for buys today. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, Jacob. Good areas to take buys would probably be around these lower lows. These are the support. So you can see over here, buys could have been taken. As price came down right here, a buy could have been taken there, pushed to the upside. Price comes back down right here. You're basically just buying dips. That's the way I would trade it. Maybe not right now specifically, but in general, if I was looking to buy dips like that, that's where I'd be looking to buy dips. But that doesn't say that price isn't going to come down further. So, just a FYI, guys, if you guys are looking for these types of trades, this doesn't necessarily mean take every single trade, right? It just means that there's opportunity there. The thing with this here that makes it kind of tricky is that price needs to fill this little gap right here. So even though price is likely to go up, we might get a big push to the downside first before it actually makes its way up, right? Because I do think price will be bullish. It's just the fact that this here we'll probably have to pull down here first. And looking at that right here, let me see the price range. I mean, it's not that far. It's like 1,000 pips. So it's not horrible, but you know, it's still something to keep an eye out for and to pay attention to. Yeah, Patricia said, I don't like the range. It needs to push in one direction. I agree, Patricia. So looking at this right here, guys, it's super simple. If you have my high low, sorry guys, 1 second. I don't know what's up with this weather. This weather's been so weird. It's been cold and hot, so I've been getting this cough lately. It's kind of annoying. But anyways, I was saying earlier, guys, and what Patricia mentioned as well, price is in a range right here, so it's not really doing too much. She said price needs to go in one direction or the other. So right here, you can see price is starting to drop. This is perfectly fine. I don't care about the drop here. And I'm actually happy that we had this drop here because now we have a lower low. This is what we needed. So we have this lower low right here. Price swings back up, then we can look for that buy. So this is perfect, exactly what I was looking for. I don't mind price drops even further. Price might drop further, bounce off the sessions, and come, you know, right back up. If you guys are looking at dollar average in, like how I was mentioning that getting at the lower lows, I would go on the higher time frame, not the 1 minute, because there's too much noise on the 1 minute. I'd probably go on the 60, but obviously there's no lower lows here. Maybe the 30. It's like one lower low there, maybe on the 10. There's like one lower low down here. So this might be entry point for, you know, if you're kind of trying to get by the dip. So I wouldn't use the dips on the 1 minute because there's too much noise on there. I would use the higher time frames, like a 10, 15. That's probably a better time frame to focus on. All right, so we have a new lower low right here. I'm gonna go and draw a zone right there. We'll see if this here continues to push or if it stays down here. All right, so it's continuing to push. Price might bounce off the sessions right here. This looks like target price point. Price might bounce off this point here and shoot back up, but it's fine. I think the lower the better. I actually want price to correct back down because there's this whole gap right here that needs to be filled from the news price. So news was right here. It still has a long way to go before it fills this gap here, right? So I don't care where price goes. Price can keep dropping lower and lower. I think the lower the better because we have more opportunities to look for buys. So we have another lower low right here, which is perfectly fine. It's rejecting directly off the sessions. That's pretty normal. Let's see. Karen said she took the breakout for partial, then took that sell as a pivot scalp. Nice work, Karen. Yeah, solid work right there. So Karen over here took the buy earlier for the breakout. Looks like she took this candle right here, took it for a quick push to the upside, and then she flipped it right here once she got that pivot scalp. So smart, quick thinking right there, Karen, with your entry. All right, we have the lower low right here, and price is likely to swing up. Oh, guys, and just an FYI, the system hasn't been updated in like the past 1 or 2 months. So the system's going to get updated this week. So if you guys, you know, if you guys are supposed to lose access, it'll probably happen like, you know, this week or maybe even tonight, just to give you guys a heads up if there's like something wrong with your access. So I just want to give you guys a heads up now. So I think there's a lot of people who need to renew. So just a heads up. The support team like called me yesterday and they said we haven't updated the system like 2 months. I'm too lazy to update it myself, guys. So I typically have to give them the okay, and they're kind of just waiting for that okay, which I gave them today. All right, so we have a lower low right here, guys. We're looking for price to push to the upside. If we get that buy signal that breaks and closes past the pivots over here, pivots 1 and 2, then we have possible entry for a buy, which is perfect because that's what we're looking for, right? So let's see if price comes back down or if it stays above here. All right, we got price pushing up right here. Let's see if this here breaks and closes past the pivots. Right, so price didn't really push it very much here. Still waiting for it, but if it comes back down lower, it might establish a new lower low. So if price right here breaks and closes past this area, it's completely fine. It's just going to establish a new lower low. And it might just drop lower to the next level here, which would be either news price or the next sessions. The ultimate area for it to pull back to is going to be news price down here. So this is target price point, you know, whenever it gets to that point there. We mark up opening price right here too. So here's the thing, if price drops down lower, this is completely fine because when it shoots back up, it's probably going to shoot back up to opening price. So you guys can already have an idea as to where price is likely to come back from. So if price gets down to this area, which is this news candle, price will probably correct back up to opening price right here. So you already have an idea of where price is likely to go to. Okay, where price is currently at right now, we'll see if it retests the, we'll just retest the zone. So retested the lower low right here. You can see the zone that I drew. If it breaks below, it's going to establish a new lower low, which is completely fine. I don't even like where price is pushing anyways, because as you guys can see here, price is just ranging again. So this isn't necessarily the area where we want to trade in. If price continues to drop, that's completely fine. I actually prefer it to drop lower because I want some more space in between. Let's see, Jacob said he took an L. Did you enter from right here, Jacob, the bounce off this point? I would have taken an entry there too. Like if I was looking for, because it did look like a good entry. If you're looking for something speculative, so you got in a little higher, possibly around this area right here that I'm assuming. There's a lot of zones around this area. Yeah, around this area, because I could have seen a bounce happen right here as well. Yeah, it's all good. It happens. You know, I would probably use a higher time frame to look for these lower zones. Jacob, because the 1 minute's too noisy. Probably go on the 10. Because if you go on the 10 here, I mean, the next lower low is going to be down here. So this is probably where and it would be exactly where news price is at. So I'll show you guys an example. Because I was kind of playing with this yesterday. I was actually going to take some, that's why I had the demo account that was logged in earlier on the multiple time frames. So we have a buy signal here, guys, but it didn't break and close past the zone, so there's no entry for us there. But I'll give you guys a little sneak peek of like, you know, how I plan to intraday swing trade US30. Yeah, actually this chart right here, the entries didn't get filled, but so basically, let me just delete these. So basically, the way that I was looking at this, you know, from my perspective is if you have a strong bias in the direction of, you know, price, like if we have a strong fundamentals, strong technicals, strong retail sentiment, I think mainly retail sentiment would be the case. Basically where I would be looking to make entries would be at these, let me just delete this. I gotta re-enable that one. It's a new indicator. You can remove the high lows. So like basically at this point right here, you guys can see how price was very bullish from Monday, right? So like basically from over here, this is where I would just make buy entries at these lower lows. You know, whenever I had the opportunity. So like, for example, here, it's more of a long-term move, guys, or a long-term play, because it's not something that's going to give you profits right away. So like right here on the 10-minute, you can see there's a lower low. When price would come down to this area, I just have a buy limit there. It would buy at that point. So I'd have one entry right here, wait for price to come down lower down here. So I have like another entry right here when price came down. So I'm basically buying the dips as price would continue to move along right here. And then I buy another dip right there. So I basically would have 3 entries at that point. 4 entries right here. And then another one down here if price was to come back down. So you guys can see right here, I would have bought at a couple different areas right here. So you can see I would have bought like right here. I would have bought right here. I would have bought right here. And I would just hold on to it like for the week, basically. So I'd hold on to it right here at about like 4 entries. And then at this point, I would like basically dollar cost average into the position. So like I'd hold on to it, not really care where it's going to go. And then eventually, you know, price would have this huge bullish push right here. And then from this right here, I'd have like some massive profits, right? Because I would have bought a whole bunch of entries down here. See on Monday, all these entries came up like Monday afternoon. So I would have all these entries right here. And then I would basically be up right now about like 2,800 pips. So I wouldn't take these with large lot sizes, but I'd be up like 2,800 pips. And this is, you know, basically how you would dollar cost average in. And then there'd be more opportunities down here, but price obviously didn't come down from that point. The only time I would take these entries if I have a very strong bias. So take a couple entries there. You know, if you average this out, I'd probably be up maybe 2,500 pips. And these would probably be smaller position sizes. So like maybe instead of 100 lot, it'd be like a 10 lot. So it'd be like a total of 40 lots right there. So if you do 40, you know, obviously 40 is going to be $4 per pip, $4 per pip times 2,800. I'd be up like 11,200 right now, just from Monday. A bunch of these entries from Monday. It's only Wednesday now. And I'd probably pull out for maybe like a 1 to 3 or 1 to 5 profit. So that's how I would intraday swing trade US30, because, you know, whenever you have a strong bias like that, price is likely to push to the upside. So just a little sneak peek. You know, maybe at that point I'll do some sort of I always say I'm not going to do account management, but I think it's a pretty easy way for me to manage accounts that way, because they're like swing trades or intraday trades. The only problem with that there is when news happens like this, because you can't really swing trade for like FTMO unless you have a swing account, or if you have a personal account. That's where it would probably work out best. Yeah, Jacob said, yeah, stop him out. They went straight to TP. Yeah, huge push right here, Jacob. Justin said FTMO is giving a 200K giveaway. Well, yeah, if you guys are looking for that FTMO account, looks like FTMO is giving away a 200K account. Jacob said FTMO took a loss on, but he took the same trade on his IC and held on to it. Yeah, that's the benefit of having a personal account, is that you guys can hold on to positions, right? That's going to be one of the main things. Not necessarily the best move, but if you have some sort of direction that you're looking for, especially if it's a buy and there's such a strong bias for a buy, then something that you could use to your advantage. All right, so there's no entries here yet, guys. Still looking for something here to come up. It's probably on their social media, guys. If you guys are looking for that FTMO thing, I just probably check out their Instagram or something. That's usually where they would post it. Anyways, guys, there's no entries for us to take here. Don't worry, you guys are not missing out on anything. I'm still looking for entries here. We have a lower low here that came up. There was a buy signal, but it didn't break and close past pivots 1 and 2. So there's no entry there. This would have been a good entry if it did close above the pivot, but it didn't. So unfortunately, no entry there. Obviously, it would have been a full TP. But we're just going to be patient. We're just going to be patient and wait for another opportunity here. Yeah, obviously there's no entries for us to take at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just mark up these lows here, so that I have an idea for possible entry. So this is something that I might try out, I guess, like next week, probably. I'll probably, you know, maybe I'll open an account with a different funding company, and then I'll just take these swing type trades. I got to figure out it's a good company to swing with, though. I know Jacob said Fiddlecrest. Yeah, me and Jacob have been talking about that. I don't know if anyone here has used Fiddlecrest, but they have like 2 million in funding. I haven't used them before. Hip here uses them. He said they're pretty good. There's just a couple of things that they're not really that great for scalping, so we can't really use them for this type of trading. But I think they're good for intraday and swing. I would have to see their I would have to see their criteria though. I heard they don't have a fixed stop either. So you don't have a fixed daily stop. It's kind of like it moves with price or it moves with your account equity. So that's kind of one of the down things too. Yeah, Jacob said you can buy 2 1 million accounts and then you can merge them to a 2 mil. So might be good for like some longer holds for US30. So I might order a Fiddlecrest account and I'll just use it for like swing trading like this. The only problem is like trying to figure out like, if I can pass the challenge in time, because a lot of these swing trades, they take a long time to hit. Like, for example, the trades from Monday, they would have been running for a while now. So take a look at that. Yeah, Jacob said it's a great way to make same amount of money on as FTMO, but with 10 times less risk. Yeah, exactly, Jacob, 100%. As long as the criteria is not too high. Like, for example, if you're going for, so if you had to do 10% of that, so if you had a 1 mil account, that can't be right. Oh, no, that is right. It's 100K. So you have to make 100K. That's a lot to make 10% on, I mean, if you use proper lot sizing, it's not a big deal, but yeah, you still have to make like 100K within a month, I guess. I got to look at their requirements, so I haven't really looked at them. So I'm still looking into different funding companies, guys. I don't know if anybody knows any other good ones. There's a couple other good ones that you guys have mentioned. I think you guys mentioned like top tier, but the problem with top tier is that there's a lot size cap, so you can't really scalp with them, at least not the way that we scalp. You can probably scalp different ways for bigger moves, but not necessarily for these quick scalps that we're taking on FTMO. Jacob said, don't think about the amounts. ROI is ROI. No, I know ROI is good, but if you have to pass the challenge, you have to get like 10%, right? So it's not going to be that easy. I mean, you have to take huge lot sizes. The problem with the big lot sizes, if you're taking, because you have liquidity issues, trying to fill the orders, right? Because if you're doing, like, for example, we're taking 100 lots here. If you're on a 1 million account, you're taking like 1,000 lot size. It's going to be really hard for them to fill that type of order, to fill and exit. That's why I like having my account split up, because it's not as difficult, because you're not having just one big account taking a huge position. Yeah, I mean, you can enter 10 trades, but it's going to be hard to click 10 times, trying to get in. But no, you're right. So what Jacob is mentioning is, since we're taking these, I mean, we could take 10 trades if we're doing the intraday swing trades, right, Jacob? I think that'd be easier because you'll have more opportunity whenever price comes and touches the zone. But for scalping, it's like it's way more difficult. Kenny puts like some random. Kenny, I think you posted one of your passwords on this. Yeah, delete that, Kenny. Kenny just posted one of his passwords on the Zoom. Yeah, I think you realize that you accidentally posted your password there. All right, guys. So don't worry. I know we're going off track. We're not really focused on the charts right now, but there's nothing for us to take. So don't worry. I'm still focused, even though we're over here talking about other stuff. There's no entries for us to take right now. Main reason that I know if there's going to be an entry is because we'll get a ping. So yeah, if we get pinged over here, then it'll tell you that there's a momentum signal. So you guys don't have to worry too much if we're talking about like other stuff. We're still looking at the charts. There's just nothing for us to take right now. So let me see if there's anything else here for us to look at. Let's check CNBC. So there's some news right here. I'll go and double click on that real quick. I know, Maddie, I saw that too. Okay, so we have a couple of news over here. Let me just open these up. We'll just see if there's stuff going on behind the scenes. Obviously, the big thing going on behind the scenes today is going to be the Fed meeting at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. Let's see. Yeah, FOMC minutes at 11 o'clock. That's a long time from now, so it's not really useful to us at the moment. But right now, let's see. So we have some news over here. Inflation rises just 0.1% in March and 5% from a year ago as Fed rate hikes take hold. This is already expected. You guys knew this was going to happen. Inflation is just getting higher and higher. There's no surprise there. So obviously this is pretty obvious. Inflation is up, not good for the economy, not good for the recession. Over here it says Dow rises more than 100 points after a cooler than expected March inflation report. I know it's only up 0.1%, but it's still up. So for right now, it's a good thing, but technically it's not a good thing long term. It might be indicating that prices that the Fed's going to stop increasing, but with the Fed minutes later at 11 o'clock, I'm pretty sure they're going to say that, we did up it a little bit, but they're going to keep upping it. So it's just going to keep going up like 0.1% every week or like 1% every week. It's already up 5%, so it's up pretty high. Some Russia-Ukraine war news over here. Russia-Ukraine war live. Russia risks becoming China's economic colony. A CIA chief says US faces angry allies over leaks. Yeah, that was expected. So, I mean, there's a lot of crazy things that can happen from now until the end of the year, guys. So we have inflation news getting worse and worse. We have the recession looming. I mean, obviously we're in a recession now. People, like, no matter what people say, we're in a recession. And then we might be going into World War III if, this, I know I laugh about it, but this is like a serious thing. It's not like, whether it be a real war or whether it be a Cold War, it seems like we're going towards that Cold War type feel, because a lot of these not these companies, a lot of these countries are no longer using the US dollar. If you guys have seen the news lately, the US dollar is starting to fall because a lot of countries are using their own currency, or they're either using their own currency or they are using China's currency. So, if that happens, the US doesn't become, I mean, we're still a powerhouse in the world, but, a lot of countries are not going to depend on the US as much anymore. So just, keep that in mind, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Like, I know right here we're focused on the market, but a lot of stuff can happen to affect the market as well. Yeah, exactly. Jacob said that makes me a little depressed. I know it's crazy. He said his kid is 7 months old, and what's going on in this world exactly. Yeah, Maria said India, Russia, Brazil, and other countries, I forgot, reunited to recreate a new currency. Yeah, they're looking for some type of gold currency, which is going to be not great for the US, because the gold currency is opposite of the US dollar, right? So if the gold currency goes up, or their type of gold currency, the US dollar goes down. And it's not going to be good for the US economy, of course. Yeah, Sisuk said this is why we are based in other countries. It's for our money value. Yeah, it's really what it is. It's to have power over all these other countries. But if people stop using the US dollar, then they don't really have to listen to the US, right? Let's see, MXL is asking any good copy recommendations. I've been using Social Trader Tools for like the past 2 years, MXL, and it's been pretty solid. So if you want to use them, I'm not in any way sponsored by Social Trader Tools, but I've been using them. I only recommend stuff that I personally use myself. So if you want to try to use them, I think they're pretty solid. You have to pay for it though, so that's like one of the downsides, but I think it's well worth it. It's like $10 an account, I think, or $20 an account. And obviously we make that back within like a trade or two. So I use Social Trader Tools. The only downside as well is that they only work with MC4 and MC5. So if you have a C-Trader account, it doesn't work. But it wouldn't really matter if you're using like a funding company. Most funding companies are still on MC4. So it works. All right, we currently have a higher high right here, guys. Price might break below it though, so I don't know if this will hold or break above it actually. So we currently have a higher high right here. It's an area of consolidation. As you guys can see, there's not really too much going on here. We do have the higher high. So price breaks below and provides a sell signal. There will be possible entry for a sell. However, it doesn't look like it may happen. It might push up higher right here, and it just did. So with it pushing up higher right here, we have a new higher high, which is fine. It's not really a big deal for us. So we got another higher high right there. Price just keeps pushing up. So I'll just leave it alone for right now. But this is what we were looking for. We're looking for a higher high, and then we're looking for price to break and close below it with the sell signal for an entry. But the market's kind of slow right now. Volume and volatility has died down. Obviously, as you guys can see, market was moving kind of crazy here on open, moved a little crazy here a few minutes ago. And then now the volume here has died down quite a bit. Let's see the chat over here. Hey, Purity, how's it going? Long time no see. Merciful said made it to day 30 of FTMO, still down 1.8%. I can get a retest if I make positive equity by the end of the day. Yeah, Merciful, I forgot where you're located, but yeah, if you get into positive equity before tomorrow FTMO time, then you'll get a free retry. You just got to make positive equity by then. Shari, hey Shari, how's it going? Yeah, welcome. See, Merciful said, Glenn, do you trade with K2? Yeah, Glenn's been with us for, I don't know, past couple months now, Glenn. Or maybe even longer, I don't know. But Glenn's been around for a long time. For a while now. I think since last year, I believe. All right, so let me just pull up the Telegram real quick. Looks like a lot of you guys here sent me some profits. Let me just mark up the zone right here real quick. There's a zone right there. We have a higher high. We have our higher high right here. Price is coming right back down. So we have a higher high. If price breaks and closes below the pivots 1 and 2 with the sell signal, then possible entry for a sell. But I don't know if this will hold. Again, as I mentioned, the volume here has died down a lot. Yeah, Jacob said, wow, this is boring. Yeah, so like earlier, Jacob was mentioning, maybe we should use a bigger TP stop loss. And I mentioned that probably not, because the volume looks like it's dying down, and it looks like it is really dying down right here. There's not really too much going on. So whenever you guys are looking to change your TP stop loss, always make sure to confirm with the current condition. So don't ever get stuck on like a 1030 or 2550. If the market starts to pick up, use a 2550. If the market starts to die down, use a 1030, because the market is very unpredictable. You never know when it's going to die down. You'd expect it to move pretty crazy right now because, there's a lot of corrections here based off news, but not really too much going on here for the most part. All right. So we have another higher high right here. See how this holds. 7:13 right now, guys. So we still have a lot of time till 8. So don't worry. Hopefully we get at least one solid entry before 8 o'clock. I'm hoping so. I can't say for sure if we're going to get it or not, but hoping so. Yeah, I remember Merciful Bay Area. Yeah, so Merciful said he passed his last FTMO but failed verification, had to retake it. Yeah, hopefully you get that retry. Merciful, what account size are you on? I mean, account size shouldn't really matter. You just got to make sure you're using a proper lot size. If you're down 1.8%, looks like you might have to take 1 or 2 trades to bounce back. As long as you take a trade with possible profitability of 1%, I think you should be okay. So if you take one trade with a 1% gain or 2% gain, you should make it right back, but you just got to make sure that you time the entry properly. Yeah, Jacob, the challenges are annoying. I think they're a little too strict, but it makes sense. Yeah, I agree, Jacob, 100%. They are annoying. All right, so we have another possible entry right here, guys. We have a higher high right here established. Never mind, it's going to get pushed back again. If price pushes up higher, this higher high is just going to get pushed up higher. Again, right there, the higher high is pushed up a little higher. So we have another possible higher high right here. What I can see here is that this might be the area where it might stop pushing from. So wherever this area is right here. This looks like the sweet spot. Or I mean, who knows? Price might push up higher and then it might reject off, one of these areas up here. And that's exactly where it went. So price spiked up from where it was currently at, came up to here and rejected off this high. Or I might just be rejecting off both. Either way, this might be the top that we were looking for. We have the higher high right there. Price might come back down lower and then retrace back to the downside. As you guys can see, price is a little bit overextended right here. Price is pushed up from this lower area, say this point. It's a bit overextended to the upside, about 1,000 pips. Not too overextended, but it is getting to that point. Yeah, Jacob said if challenges were easier, too many would be trading equity and the firm would end up being profitable in the long run. If only 10% of Forex traders in the world makes money, then 90% needs to fail. Sad truth. Yeah, wouldn't be profitable. Exactly. Yeah, and I agree with you, Jacob. 100%. Yeah, Maria said that their business is people losing challenges. I don't think that's the case with all funding companies. I think the longer withstanding funding companies they actually do take the trades like FTMO because they actually interview people who are profitable, right? They actually keep track of people who are profitable. I don't think they copy your trades right away. I think you need to prove that you're profitable for a while before they actually start copying. But I think they do copy, for me, from my perspective, I think they do copy certain people's trades. Like if you're profitable for at least a couple months, I think they start to copy it. Because it gives them peace of mind that you're actually consistent. Because a lot of people can get lucky, but people who are actually consistent, it doesn't really come around too often. Other companies, though, I do agree, Maria. So I don't know if MFF copies trades. Maybe they're still kind of new, but I don't know if they copy trades. I know for sure Funding Talent didn't, because they admitted to it. They just don't copy certain people. That's just the thing. I don't think it's the case for everybody, but certain people. All right, so we have a pending sell signal right here, guys. If this here breaks and closes past the pivots 1 and 2, there's going to be a possible entry right here for us to take. So we have the higher high right here. If this here breaks and closes below the pivots, again, guys, you have to wait for it to actually break and close, right? We have 30 seconds left on this candle. Wait for the candle to actually close because this sell momentum can easily disappear. So just keep that in mind, guys. Don't get too excited too quickly. We got 10 seconds left on this candle right here. This candle here is kind of big. I'm gonna have to wait for it to retrace a little bit, but this looks like it may close. All right, so there's an entry right there. Candle's kind of big though, so we're looking for it to retrace a little bit. Looks good. All right, so it's pushing down right now. I'm in the position. Now it's got to wait for it to make its further push down. It looks like it's going to hit TP right about there. Looks like it hit TP, but it didn't close me out, guys, so I'm still in it. All right, full TP. Hit my full TP, guys. There you go. Let it run. So I figured it was going to drop down at least like enough. So it kept flickering. I hate when that happens. I don't know if you guys have seen that on MT4. It like flickers yellow. Like on your MT4 app, it just goes yellow, yellow, yellow. It doesn't close, and you're like, what do I do? And then pulled out from there. So yeah, it looks like a lot of you guys here took it. If you guys took it, great. It lined up perfectly, as I mentioned right here. Established the high. I drew this area here because I was like, okay, this is like an area where a lot of rejections happen. Had the higher high right there. Price dropped below. Sell signal closed. I was going to wait for it to retrace a little bit. Kind of sat there for a bit. Entered the trade. Came back down heavy and went straight to full TP. So great work right there, guys. Let me see what I locked in. Yeah, Jonathan said, "Woo, got full TP." Jacob took a huge lot size. Nick pulled, got full TP. Maddie got full TP. Jacob got full TP. All right, solid. Richard got full TP. Nice work, guys. Looks like a lot of you guys here took the trade and all hit full TP. My profits were nice across all my accounts. MFF, of course, gave me a partial profit. They gave me a little decent, like it was a little decent today. It wasn't horrible, but it still wasn't full profit. I'll take a screenshot of my profits real quick. So another full TP right there. So we have for the month of April, we have straight wins. We have 8 wins and 0 losses for the month of April. So I mean, it's been a pretty solid month so far. As I mentioned, guys, if you guys have that consistency and discipline, you guys should have no problem being profitable, trading with us here. So this market's just been kind of iffy. I know like lately I've been kind of pulling early, but today I was just like, whatever, I'm gonna let it run because I knew it was gonna come down. And I let it run and it went straight to full TP. So here are my profits across all my accounts. There's no entry right here, guys. Don't worry. There's no lower low, so there's no entry for us to take on that. Let me go and post my profits real quick. All right, so 1,150 on my first FTMO, 1,050 on my FTMO number 2, 800 on my MFF number 1, 850 on MFF number 2, and 850 on my MFF number 3. Looking over here real quick, let me see the other profits. We have Jamie over here. Nice work, Jamie. All wins for Jamie's accounts today, or her account today. Total profit of 537. So solid work right there, Jamie. Going down a little further, we have Jacob over here. Jacob's currently up 29,389 for the day. All wins for the today so far. Nice work, Jacob. Took a bunch of trades right there on the on that swing down or the swing up earlier that we were talking about. So great work right there, Jacob. We have Ross over here. Dang, Ross is up a crazy amount. Look at Ross's profits. He's up 53,285 for the day. Looks like he had a loss for gold over there. Took some couple trades over here for gold, made it right back. And then US30 right here down below. So great work right there, Ross. Killing it. Looks like you're starting to find your stride, Ross, with your entries there. We have Maria over here, total profit of 462, all wins. Nice work, Maria. We have Jacob over here up 37,184 for the day. Took that sell that we just took right now. Full TPs right there. Solid work. Last 2 trades from today. And here's Narith. Narith is currently up 3,735 for the day. All wins as well. Nice work, guys. You guys are doing pretty good today for, this crazy market. There's only one official entry. Again, guys, there's no entry right here. It's okay. There's no higher high, so there's no entry for us to take at this moment. Going down over here, here's Nick, total profit of 450 for the day. Nice work, Nick. Profit's profit. So I would take that instead of a loss any day. Patricia over here, currently up 5,070 on this account. Nice work, Patricia. And then here is Patricia's other accounts, total profit of 575 on this account, 825 on the second account, and 475 on our third account. So looks like Patricia's up, well over 7,000 for the day almost. Here's Chow. Chow's currently up 1,250 for the day. Nice work, Chow. Full TP on that last trade we just took. Vincent over here, he took that buy earlier, applying his strategy. Vincent's variation to the high-low scalp. Total profit of 990 on that specific trade. So solid work right there, Vincent. And he took this same last trade that we just took right now. Total profit of 2,141 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Vincent. We got Nelly over here. Total profit of 1,002 for the day. All wins. Took that same trade we just took. We've got Jake over here. Total profit of 23,014. And crazy. I think this is the one you sent earlier, right, Jacob? I don't want to double save it. Yeah, I think it's the same one you posted. Okay. I don't want to double save your accounts again, like I did earlier. Eunice over here, total profit of 750 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Eunice. And these are other people's accounts. It's not my account yet. I haven't taken screenshots of mine. These are just everybody else in the group. Dejan over here, currently at 525 off that last sell we just took. Nice work. Maddie over here, currently at 2,647 for the week. Nice work, Maddie. Yeah, Kenny said, hey, Sean, the free 200K FTMO account giveaway is in the FTMO client area. So if you go to the FTMO client area, guys, there's a 200K giveaway in there. So that's where you would find it. Thanks, Kenny, for confirming that. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of these like spam messages on this thing, on the public group. And Kevin over here currently up 6,210 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Kevin. Nice. Yeah, Kevin said he's trading on his phone in the hotel, took a drive to Atlanta to see his mom. Nice work, Kevin. Solid trip and solid profits on your way down. Here's Ross. Damn, Ross is killing it. Ross is currently at 55,135 for the day. Crazy wins for gold. And same with US30 right here. Nice work, Ross. Anything else here? All right, I think that's it for now, guys. There's no other entries for us to take right now, so don't worry, we're not missing anything. We have a lower low right here. So if this here ends up closing, then this is fine because we can start looking for possible buy entry if price swings back up from where it's currently at. No entry right now, but possible entry for that if we swing through. Dejan, so that's me for the day, though. Heard Sean say something about the Fed speaking, so I'll see you all tomorrow. Definitely, Dejan, we'll see you back here tomorrow. The Fed speaking at 11 o'clock. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys are happy with your profits for the day, then just wrap it up, right? 7:30 right now, so we still have 30 minutes till 8. So I'll look around for another possible entry. But yeah, I mean, if you guys are satisfied with your profits for the day, then just wrap it up because the market is due to do something weird today, of course, with the Fed, because the Fed minutes are coming out later, and I'm not expecting the Fed news to be good because inflation is up, not up a lot, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna mention that they're still going to increase interest rates. It's the only way we can the recession from going to full-on recession, right? If they don't increase interest rates, then we're just going to keep digging a deeper hole. I'm just taking my individual profits right here, guys. Screenshots. I prefer to see them individually versus on my copier. All right, looks good. Let me just post up my profits real quick. I'm still looking for an entry, guys, so don't worry, we're not missing out on anything. We're just looking for that buy signal to come up. We get that buy signal, great. If we don't have it, then we just got to wait a little longer. All right, posted on my profits. Okay, if we get a buy signal right here on this candle, possible entry. If not, then no entry for us. All right, there's a pending buy signal right here, guys. We have about 10 seconds left on it. You guys have to wait for the candle to actually close, though. So to make sure that you guys keep that in mind when you guys are looking for this here for entry, because this buy signal can disappear at the last second. So this candle here is kind of huge. Let me see if I can still get into this. We do have news coming up right here shortly as well. So also something to be careful for. It's not high impact news, but it is news. I didn't get into it yet. I'm going to put a buy stop there to catch it. Let me see if I can set mine up over here. I wait for it to bounce a little bit. Yeah, because we have news coming up right here at 7:30. Let me check the news real quick. I haven't gotten into it yet, but let's see. We have news over here. It's crude oil inventories. It's not super high impact, but it's going to affect the market. I mean, one way or another. You guys can see right here, it's kind of mixed. There's like one medium effect. It's the stock change, of course, because obviously US30 oil stocks. And then we have all of these right here too. So my order still hasn't filled yet, guys. Let's see. For some reason, it hasn't filled yet. I thought it would have filled by now. All right. I don't know what's up with my MC4. I think there's just like either slippage or liquidity. It's trying to fill my order, but it hasn't filled it. Okay, now I'm in the position. It's kind of bouncing around a bit. Actually, it didn't fill on mine. I don't know what's up with this. So it actually didn't fill on my MT4, guys. It kept flickering like it was going to enter the order, but didn't actually fill. So good thing it didn't fill for me because I would have had this loss right here. I don't know if anyone else got into position, but it never filled for me. I had my pending order right there. It kept bouncing back and forth, and then it just never filled for me. Thankfully, because it spiked all the way down. I'll just take that off for that. This is a news candle though, so it should have been one that would have been skipped. But if you guys remember, we're kind of avoiding. We're not really avoiding. We're just disregarding the news. So this could have easily went either way. Let's see. Yeah, Maria said she was going to skip it. So it seems like some people skipped it. Maddie here took it. I don't know if he did. No, he didn't. Yeah, so it never filled for me, guys. I was trying to get into it though. I waited for it to pull back a little bit, had a buy stop there. It never filled the order, and it just kept bouncing back and forth. And then when it came down, I just canceled it. Yeah, so Jacob said he's still in it. He did a 1% risk with a 250 to 500 TP stop loss due to news, which is a smart idea because obviously the candles here. I think this will correct back up from where it's currently at. But yeah, we had news candle right here. I marked up news price. Let me mark it up real quick. We had news price. Right here. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up, correcting back up. Because this is just news candle right here. Mark that up right there. I mean, if I left my pending order here, I could probably still fill it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as is. Typically, the oil price doesn't really spike price like this. So, I mean, I don't know. Let me see what the oil price looked like. Let me refresh it real quick. So the oil news right here at 7:30 was, the stock change was negative, but everything else was kind of positive from that point. Anyways, here are the profits on my accounts. I didn't take that last trade, so these are what I locked in. Here's my F2 number one account, total profit of 1,150. Here's my F2 number two, total profit of 1,050. MFF number three, total profit, or MFF number one, total profit of 800. MFF number two, 850. And MFF number three, 850 as well. So yeah, a lot of movement here based off the, based off the news. I wasn't expecting the oil price or oil news to really push price around like this, but it's moving pretty heavy. Let me see the change again. I don't think the change was that much. So the change actually wasn't very drastic. So they're predicting it to be, it's only off by like maybe 1/10 of a million right here. Because they're predicting it to be negative 0.583. It was 0. Actually, never mind, take that back. Sorry, there was no negative here. It was actually very worse. So the news here was actually not good at all. It's worse than expected. So looking at this here, whenever it's negative, this is usually positive. So they're expecting the news to be really good, but it was actually very, very negative. Because it's plus 1.18 million, meaning that there's a lot of, it's just worse than expected. There's a lot more oil inventory versus what they're expecting. Check. So maybe that was a good thing that I didn't enter the buy, because that's exactly why the price spiked down so heavily. So right here, guys, the news was super negative. That's why price spiked down super hard. And it's probably going to keep coming down a little heavier because of the because of that news event, but it's going to correct back up eventually. Anyway, there's no entries for us to take right now, guys. Still waiting for something here to play out, but there's just nothing for us to take right now. Yeah, Glenn as well. So Glenn said didn't get in right away since the candle was too big. On to the next one. Yeah, exactly. All right, so we currently have another lower low right here, guys. It's 7:35 right now, so we still have some time until 8, but I don't know if this here will swing back up from where it's currently at. It's got a long way to go. Jacob said, and that's me closing MetaTrader 4 for the day. Yeah, no, if you guys are good with your profits, guys, I would just call it a day. As you guys can see, the market is moving kind of crazy. We already made our profits for the day. We're doing pretty solid overall. But as I mentioned earlier, guys, it's not really the best day to take anything too risky because we still have the Fed meeting coming up later. You can see price here starting to spike down super heavy off that news. It's still continuing down. A lot of people are starting to bandwagon on that drop. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it continues dropping from where it's currently at. Or if it swings back up. I mean, price can really do one or the other. So I could probably see price correcting down to the news price right here. So the target price point is going to be the news candle down here. That's going to be where price will likely go to. Obviously, if you guys are looking for target price point, it's probably going to be around, if it does drop, this is going to be the area where it's going to drop to. And then from there, it might just bounce back up. Because this is this big news candle here from earlier today, the inflation news. Basically the oil news kind of gave it that push to the downside. And then a lot of people just started hopping onto that sell because they're looking for this to come down to this area right here. This was just the catalyst for the drop. It's not necessarily all based off the oil news, but this kind of just had people chase it so it can fill this candle right here. And then once it fills a candle, it's going to possibly, come back and correct. Because overall, I think US30 will still be bullish. The only thing here is that, this correction here still has to play out. And you can see right here where price is dropping. It's dropping down pretty violently. Yeah. And there you go. So you guys can see right here where I marked it up. It came exactly to that point. I wouldn't be surprised if it bounces directly off this area right here. So I pretty much already identified where the target was going to be. Target's already been hit. Looks like it might be swinging right back up from where it's currently at. Not to say that that's for sure going to happen, but if you're kind of thinking of like where it's going to go, that's probably where it's going to go. Yeah, so Jacob was kind of taking some speculative trades a little earlier. And said he took 1% loss, no big deal, did double the risk on the other trade. So it was RR 2-1 on that trade, still in profit for the day. Yeah, it's not that bad, not that big of a deal, Jacob. I think the main key is that you're able to pull away, right? So Jacob over here took a 1% loss, but he turned off his MT4 because he already knew that if he keeps trading, he's probably going to revenge trade and overtrade and make bad decisions. So, that's a thing that you guys got to keep in mind as well. Just step away. If you guys feel that you're going to, like, for example, here, if you guys took a loss at any point and you guys saw my analysis here where I think price will likely bounce off this point, and you think this is like a revenge trade or, you don't really have an analysis to it, then I would recommend just calling it a day. The reason why I think price will bounce off this point is because price corrected back down from this news candle right here. And then we have a V1 variation right here. You guys can see the double body rejection off news price. So that's why I could kind of see the bounce happening right here. I don't necessarily think this will be like a for sure move, but it's one of the things that, I see right here just by looking at this, because I see the, this area, obviously getting tested. So there'd be a correction, but, I don't know how strong that'll hold for. It's not one I would take. Obviously, you guys can see here, the only strategy I'm applying is going to be this one. This is all speculation. There's no specific strategy for this. If you wanted a strategy for this, or you wanted some sort of strategy to follow, I would say that this is a double bottom, right? If you guys are looking for a pattern, you got a couple lower lows right here, like basically 3 tests right here. But here's the thing that you want to be careful for. Price can easily spike down to stop people out and then swing back up. I think eventually it'll come back up, but I think right now it's going to fake some people out. So unless you have a pretty decent stop loss to like withstand the position, I think it's going to be a bit of a risky move to hold on to, of course, right? Because that's just how it seems like it's going to play out. Yeah, so let me see how far of a possible drop I can see, because it can still come down to this next sessions right here. So let's see. Yeah. I'm just trying to. So if I was to get into a position here, I probably would enter from this bottom. And this is kind of what I would personally do if you're like wondering what I would do. So yeah, this is kind of like the type of move that I'd be looking for. It would look like this. Jacob said, Sean, curious, what's your monitor setup? Super curious. So I have an iMac Pro. I'm sure you know what iMac Pro is. It's just a big screen. So I have I don't know how big the screen is, but it's a pretty big screen. Let me see if I can check. So in front of me, I have my iMac Pro. It's the display is a 27-inch. So I got this big screen in front of me. This is just my charts. And then on my right side, I have two 21-inch or 221-inch screens, monitors. So I just have three screens, one main one here with my chart, and then I have one with MT4 up here. So if you ever see me looking in this corner, I'm looking at MT4, and then down here is the chat. So I have two monitors and one big iMac Pro in front of me. Yeah, so typically if you guys see my eyes going certain ways, if I'm looking straight, I'm looking at trading view. If I'm looking up, I'm looking at MT4. If I'm looking down, I'm looking at the chat. So yeah, there's no entry right here, guys, but this is kind of what I was anticipating. So as I mentioned earlier, if you're looking to buy it, because I mentioned this like on this other time frame, I said if price comes down to this area, this is where my buy would happen, right on this line. So I'd probably go for a 1 to 3 risk to reward. And yeah, I can see this pushing back up for and correcting past this candle. That's basically where I could kind of see where price would be going. Not one that I would necessarily, advise you guys to take, because the thing with this here is that price can still drop lower, right? There's a possible buy area there, and there's another possible buy area down here as well. So price could technically drop lower here, but then eventually, I'd expect it to push up from that point too. So like, for example, if I was to get another area down here, it would just be another similar type entry. But for this type of strategy, I wouldn't necessarily have a stop loss, because this would be considered like an intraday swing trade type move. So, not one that I would personally, because we're scalping here. So I wouldn't recommend anybody take this type of trade for this live session. So let me just take this off. I don't want you guys to think I'm in a position, because I'm not. I'm just watching. So we currently have a lower low right here still. We have no buy signal that broke and closed past it. So there's no entry for us to take at this moment. Right now, the only other opportunity that we would have would be a sell, right? We would have to have price push above here and provide a sell signal. If the sell signal closes right here, then we might be able to look for a buy. Right now, we just don't have anything. As you guys can see, the market's a mess right now. Had this huge push based off the oil news earlier, and then we have the Fed news coming up later at 11. So it's not necessarily the best time to be looking for some trades. But yeah, this is basically the type of entry I'd be looking for if I was looking for an intraday swing trade. The reason why I'd be looking for something like this is because we have a pretty strong bullish bias on the higher time frames, 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute. Looking over here at the fundamentals, I think they're still bullish, right? Refresh this real quick. Actually, they're not very bullish anymore. They're pretty neutral now at the moment. They're currently at 56 points. So looking at, obviously looking at this right here, the fundamentals aren't very strong. Technicals are strong, or they're not even that strong either. Looking over here on the 30, it's still bullish, but it's not very strong. You guys can see it's kind of bouncing. The main thing I'd be looking for would be retail sentiment. So retail sentiment over here is still pretty strong. So I still think price will correct back up eventually. It's just going to be a matter of time until it actually does. So just something to obviously keep in mind. But there's nothing for us to take here. So we don't have a lower low or a higher high. So I mean, regardless, there's not going to be any type of buy entry here for us to take right now. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 7:45 right now, so we have about 15 minutes till 8. It does not look like I'm going to be trading after 8 o'clock because we do have the Fed speaking soon. And we already took our trade for the day, so I'm not really looking to take anything too risky. Glenn said he thinks it'll consolidate for a while. Yeah, it probably will down here. It'll just stay around this area in this range. So we have a new lower low right here. With this lower low, we'll see if price ends up pushing up, providing for an entry for us. But if not, then that's completely fine. So we have a possible lower low right here. Looking for a possible buy signal to break and close past the pivots over here. If we get that, then possible entry. But if not, then we would still have to hold off on this here. D's asking, would 744 be considered a valid pivot scalp? This one right here would not be valid because there's a sessions right there, D. So for that specific strategy, you actually look for the red flags, which are right here. So you wouldn't have taken it because price, you can see where price bounced from directly off that red line, which is the London high. Yeah, no problem, D. Yeah, there's just a lot more things. There's a lot more things to pay attention to when you're applying the other strategies, mainly the red flags. It's not too difficult, but it does come into play. For this strategy, we don't really care about the red flags as much. I mean, you guys can if you like, but from our testing, it looks like it still works perfectly fine even without it. All right, so we got another possible entry right here, guys. We're looking for a buy signal to come up and break and close past pivots 1 and 2 right here. It's almost there, but it's not there yet. All right, so we don't have a buy signal yet. There's a pending buy signal on this candle right here. So price pushes back up above the pivots, possible entry, but it does not look like that's happening here with this candle pulling back like that. Let's see, we got some more profits here. I'll pull up the Telegram shortly. I'm just going to wait to see if this here closes because we have a possible entry here if it does push up in the last 30 seconds. So we got 30 seconds left on this candle here, possible buy signal. We got 20 seconds left. Some profits here from Justin, my brother, total profit of 1,363 for the day. Nice recovery off that. That's good. All right, we have 5 seconds left on this candle. I don't think this here is going to close above, but if it does, pay attention to it. Nope. There's a pending buy signal though, so we can still possibly catch something here. All right, so there's another pending buy signal on this candle here. It hasn't closed yet. It is pending though. Maria said she better call it a day. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Sean. Definitely, Maria. We'll see you back here tomorrow. All right, does not look like this is going to close with a buy signal. About 10 seconds left. Nah, not at all. So yeah, looking at what Glenn mentioned earlier, he said price will likely consolidate around this area. It looks like that's what's happening. A lot of consolidation around here. So no entry there, guys, unfortunately. If I go and draw some zones over here, you guys can see that there's not really much going on. Price is really just ranging and consolidating around this area. there's not going to be an entry if we get a buy signal here because there's already a higher low in between. So right here we have a lower low, lower high, and a higher low. So even if we get a buy signal right here, it's not going to provide entry because there's a high low in between this lower low and the possible buy signal. So yeah, it looks like price is just going to be ranging around this area. And Madhu also confirmed that volume is really low. Yeah, if you look over here at the volume bar, it's pretty much died down a bit. It's picking up a little bit here, but not really. It's still pretty low. So no entry there. The buy signal came up after price broke and closed past it. So no entry there, guys. All right, 7:50 right now. We have about 10 minutes till 8. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If you guys are new here and you guys want access to the strategies, as I mentioned yesterday, or I should make a correction. So the strategies are free to learn, right? The indicators are not free. I just want to make that clear because yesterday someone kind of acted up and said that things aren't free, but they are free. The strategies are free. If you guys want to learn the strategies, they're completely free. Learning the strategies is free. The indicators are not free. So I'm just going to try to be more transparent with you guys since I guess I'm not transparent. I got to tell you guys that what's free and what's not free. So if you guys want access to the strategies and learn everything that we're doing here, you guys can learn the strategies. The only difference is that you won't have access to the indicators. You guys can get access to the free course. Go on the website, kodikaitrades.com, click on unlock your free access right here. Go to that right there. And it'll take you to the website. When you go to the website there, it'll provide you access to the actual course, which is right here. This is what the course looks like. If you guys are looking for the specific strategy, this one right here, the high-low momentum scalp, which we apply during all the live sessions, just scroll down to module 2, I believe, or module 4. It'll be this first strategy right here, the high-low momentum scalp. If you guys want to learn the momentum scalp failure, it's right here, momentum scalp variation right there, momentum scalp right there. If you guys want to learn the pivot scalp that a lot of people have been mentioning today. So Karen took pretty much all the pivot scalps today. She took this sell right here for a full TP, this one right here for a full TP, and I think the one earlier this morning as well, right here for a full TP. If you want to learn this strategy, the pivot scalp, scroll down to the scalp strategies. And you guys will see it right here, the 1-minute pivot scalp. If you guys want to learn the high-low scalp, which a lot of people were mentioning as well, it's going to be this strategy right here. So as you guys can see, there's a low right here, price broke and closed below it. There was a sell signal. You could have taken this for a sell position right there. And that'd be the high-low scalp. If you guys want to learn that strategy right here, you guys can learn that on the website as well. It's going to be called the high-low scalp. So these are two different strategies. This right here is a high-low momentum scalp, and this is just a high-low scalp. So if you guys want to learn that, feel free to pull up the website. It's completely free to watch the strategy videos. The only thing that you'd have to pay for, if you wanted to pay for it, would be the indicators. It's not necessary, but obviously it's going to make things a whole lot easier for you. So if you guys want to do that, feel free to pull up the website. If you guys want to just rewatch any of my previous live sessions, I've been training live for you guys for about 5 or 7 years now. I just pull up the YouTube channel over here, youtube.com/KodiKaiTrades. And you guys can review pretty much all of the previous live sessions. Everything with the blue background is a live trading session. Everything with the gold background is everyone's results from the live sessions. The ones with the green background are previous mentoring sessions. And the ones with the red background are all the strategy videos. So, I mean, if you guys ever want to just watch any of the previous sessions, feel free. If you guys are wondering how I traded yesterday, just pull up the session from yesterday. If you want to see how I was trading on Monday, pull up the session from the 10th. And everything's pretty much available to you guys there. So let's see. CJ said, what were you saying earlier about renewing, updating our subscriptions? So guys, as I mentioned earlier this morning, the system hasn't been updated for like the past 2 months because I haven't given the support team the okay to go and remove people from their access. If you guys have a subscription and it expired, you guys probably still have access right now. The reason why you have access is because I haven't given the support team the okay to pretty much take people out. So if your access has expired and it's expired and you guys still want access, just make sure to renew it. Otherwise, your access might be removed by today because I just gave them the okay to update everything. So yeah, all right, guys. So I think that's it for today. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I mean, that's pretty much it for now. If there's anything else that you guys want to cover, feel free to pop in and message me on Telegram at Kodi Kai Trades. If you guys want to email me, Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com. But other than that, I think that's about it. 7:55 right now, guys, about 5 minutes till 8. I don't see any other entries coming up right here. There's a lower low right here, but obviously nothing for us to take. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. So if you guys have any questions, reach